Hello, everyone. This is another Freedom to Feel conversation, and my guest today is Nina Crist. Since the age of 17, Nina has dedicated her life to martial arts, immersing herself in the styles such as karate, Aikido, Jiu-Jitsu, Tai Chi, Qigong, if I pronounce that correctly, Kung Fu, and others. As a black belt and master, she is committed to sharing these timeless practices with all who seek them. Nina's life mission is to dismantle the barriers of dogma and fear. We just talk about fear briefly, right, off record, allowing individuals from all walks of life to benefit. So this is my brief introduction to Nina. There's a lot more to her than just this bio, of course. But the question that I love asking everyone, and I have so many other questions here for you, Nina, is in the very beginning, I don't know why it never left me. How would you introduce yourself? Who is Nina in this very moment?
Thank you so much, Valeria, for everything you're doing to allow us to be here, for creating this sacred space. And I'm honored to share. And thank you for such a thoughtful question to begin the conversation. Nina, this has been a journey. I will say here and now, I am living in Greece with my husband. I am sharing the ancient wisdom that really flowed into my life at a young age and touched my heart and really changed the trajectory of my entire life. And so Nina, and one of the lineage that I share, ancient language, Quechua, translates as fire. And so this ancient wisdom is this eternal, universal flame and this light. And I really feel that each one of us has different ways that light has been ignited, whether through trauma, whether through connection with nature, through connection with one another, or getting inspired in art, music, movement, whatever it is that lights us up.
Yeah.
I am here in this moment, I feel, to inspire others to connect with that light.
Yes, what a beautiful invitation. Life itself has been calling us to answer, to kind of look at that, the seed, the light that's here. And I often wonder why some people don't do that. Is that something that it's up to our free will, or there's something at play, something else that we are not able to see it clearly? I wonder, Nina.
I love that inquiry, Valeria. As my practice has been deeply entrenched in multiple styles of martial arts, really connecting with the different cultures. If we think of the environments all around the world, we have a different expression of Mother Nature in the species, in the dance, in the music, in the food, and also in the ways that we defend ourselves. And self-defense is not, we see it in the movies as this physical hi-ya.
Yes.
But I want to answer the question of how do some of us connect with that seed of light and how others don't seem to have access to it. As we're brought into this world, depending on our dynamics, on the environment we're brought into, the levels of support, what's at play, there can be many barriers between ourselves and accessing that. And there are these barriers of protection, these protective mechanisms that actually block. As we block to stay safe, as we put up these shields to stay safe, we end up becoming isolated and really cut off from our own inner light, but also the light that's all around us in the world. And so the practice of self-defense, it sounds so, it's almost this, it truly is an inward journey. And we think of the classic martial art movies through history. I think of the Kung Fu series. Was it in the 70s? And then the Karate Kid and Kung Fu Panda even. Yeah. But we get into these strong movements of blocking and creating sacred space for ourselves and learning how to be strong and utilizing principles of power to create so much energy of protection, that when we do that time after time after time, the message that we're giving to our entire being is that you are valuable, you are worth protecting. And that message of self-love is the greatest antidote to being cut off from that inner light.
Wow. Yes. You said so much there. I'm trying to unpack that here. Yes. One of the questions that come to mind immediately is about true power. How would you define that? What is true power?
You know, I think the word power is so loaded. I just have to address that.
Yeah.
Power is beautiful when the intention is pure.
Yes.
So when I talk about the principles of power, we're talking about how to utilize the breath to engage the energy to harmonize the physical body. So the mind isn't saying punch with the right hand or block with the left. The whole body is responding to life. And as we're responding to life, the energy is moving and responding to the energy of the smile, of the handshake, of the dog's tail wagging, or maybe something else that's not so pleasant. And when that energy responds and the body and the mind and the spirit, the energy are all harmonized, then everything can respond in that dance, and that they call the sacred dance, which is just, of course you move out of the way. Of course you're going to make sure you don't get hit. That is power. Because if we can respond in an instance without getting hurt or hurting another, and diffusing something when we talk about in the Taoist principles of the unmanifest realm, when things are energetic, maybe it's an idea, an intention, a thought, someone's like, I don't, but then they talk about it, they bring it into the physical, and they act. And that's where we as masters, as when we really begin to optimize ourselves through learning how our body can move and create this power.
Yeah.
When we can actualize that, then we are standing in our fullest power. And that's what the masters, the ancient Taoist sages talk about, is being completely filled up, the whole part vessel filled up with that spirit. And I think we all can think of somebody in our life that is just bigger than life. They walk in the room, it just, right? They're inspirited. Yeah.
Yes. I wonder if we somehow, martial arts overlap somehow with Vedanta, the understandings I have of self, that you already are what we are looking for. So there's no really practice needed for that, but just in my case is establishing that truth, almost bringing that flavor, into the body mind. Like I said, off record, and I always say here, bringing the infinite to the finite. So that's my practice, but it doesn't feel like a practice though. It's a fun dance really with the relative reality. But I would love to hear from you. What are your thoughts about all that?
Wow, I love that you are connecting so deeply with these practices. And I feel each one of us is kind of drawn. There's something it's like at 17, I took a 6-week aerobic self-defense class before I went to college, and so it's these synchronicities that connect us with these paths. And I absolutely agree. I do feel the overlap, the universal teaching, the universal discipline, the universal truth. Taoism it's a way of being. And I think that's what you're saying. And it's to know thyself, right? We have Socrates in ancient Greece talking about to learn yourself, you're going to know the whole universe. So if we're looking outward, we're not going to have the awareness of what's going on within. So all of the practice of the Qigong, of the Tai Chi, of the Karate, whatever style, whatever culture the self-defense is derived from, we are connecting with the body every single day, and it's a reference point. So if you're coming down with something, or there's something brewing in the digestion or any part of the body that's out of balance, you know about it before it becomes manifest in the physical. You're able to manage. So we're opening the body. And in that, I want to say dissection, because we're bringing the awareness and we're scanning the body. We're feeling the energy flowing, the quality of energy. And as we do that, it's like taking out the trash. We're clearing out the mind. We're clearing out the stagnation. And so then you get to be purely you. And so there's also not just sustaining, but the cultivating. And I think that's where you're talking about meditation, contemplation, and you mentioned, and more study. It's that time in, I want to say, that time that we say, I'm not doing anything in the modern world at this moment. I'm carving out this amount of time, this many times a week, to bring my attention to ancient wisdom. And for myself, every single time that I've chosen to do that, whether it be 1 minute or over 20 years, whatever, those moments of connecting with the natural, sacred truths of nature, we start to feel that these rhythms are all around us and that we can return to our natural selves more quickly. That's what I've found, and what I've witnessed is people can return more quickly to that state of balance, that inner calm.
Yeah. So when it comes to the Tao, I mean, I'm very interested in the Tao, and I have read, I have some knowledge, now, of course, the extent it is you do, but some of the principles, there's a lot to do with being natural, being spontaneous, effortless. How do we, I mean, I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on that, your experience. How do you make action inaction, and even inaction action? I guess that's the question.
I feel like it's a tongue twister. I love it. So the Tao translates as the way. And there's a Taoist principle, Wu Wei, action through non-action. So oftentimes, if we step back, when the friction happens, maybe there's a conversation between family members or in the office, and there's a problem, and the problem is just getting tighter and tighter and tighter. I think of those Chinese finger puzzles that you get your finger, and the more you pull, the tighter it gets, right?
Yes, yeah.
If we remove our energy and bring our attention to something productive for a moment and just let it be, if we press in and we soften, oftentimes things are able to be resolved without needing to do anything. And sometimes doing nothing can be the most challenging thing. I think being a parent, right? You want to go and intervene and like step back, give them space to spread their wings, right? So that's action through non-action, and having the discernment of knowing when. Because we also don't want to be like, well, I don't know, I was practicing action through non-action and I didn't do anything all day. That's not what the Taoists are talking about. In nature, sometimes we don't see anything. We don't see anything really happening if we look outside. But all of a sudden we look out and a flower has blossomed. And it's like, when did that happen? Right? And so nature shows us that slow and steady, that smoothness, like water, one droplet after the next, that smoothness becomes fast, swift, like a river. And so we can just do the next easiest thing. And in that spirit, in that flow, everything is done. But if we try to keep getting up against that wall and trying to take care of that task, that it's just not time, it's locked, right? Just step away. And sometimes it's just like, go get a cup of coffee or a cup of water, or go to, outside, take a deep breath and come back. And sometimes that's all it takes, depending on the relationship or the dynamic. So then we learn and we become students of life. And I think that's exactly what you were talking about. Yes. Because I could teach, I was, as a disciple in the martial arts, I was for 20 years dedicated. 365 days, all year round, I was outside out in the elements, teaching life skills, teach. Well, after 20 years of being in the dojo, teaching technique to thousands and thousands of people, 18 months to 80 years old. I mean, the whole deep study of humanity, watching people learn movement. It's not until I step out into the world and apply what I learned in the dojo, right? So even in those years of actively teaching, and I'm still teaching, it's just expressing itself. And of course, as we grow and evolve, we change. But it's when we bring it into the world and we're stuck in traffic. How do we respond in line when someone forgot their wallet in front of you, or whatever those moments are that seem so intense that we can feel the pressure building and we can laugh, because those moments of life are the most powerful opportunities to grow.
Yes, 1,000,000,000 times that truth.
I know, I bow to you because I see you, and I highly respect the life choices that you've made.
Yeah, that's exactly it, Nina. Talk to me about this idea of destiny, of just letting the body mind do what it came here to do.
Oh, wow.
As nature itself.
I feel like I would answer that question differently if you asked me at different moments. So I'm going to give you the answer, maybe not completely differently, but I'm just feeling like right now what my response is. I really feel that as we come in this physical body, we have this beautiful, the Taoists see it as an earth, we're animated earth. So we're the marriage of heaven and earth. And so our spirit is the energy, the body is the physical earth. We're made up of the same materials as the stones and the trees and all of the beautiful beings on this planet. So as we're in this animated earth, what is our endocrine identity? What's the chemistry running through the physical body? That chemistry is what light is emanating. And so we each have our own code, right? We each have our own hue or aura. And a lot of the practices, I believe all of the practices, depending on how deep you go or what was preserved, but I believe there's a universal truth within all practices of alchemy. And coming into the practices of alchemy is like, if someone isn't being nice, do I allow their not niceness to pull me down? Or can I maintain my compassionate, open, joyful, loving heart? And so it really becomes a practice of maintaining the chemistry and having an awareness. And you mentioned nutrition and food and the source of the food. I don't want to get on a tangent, but food is so important.
Yes.
What we put into our body, what we think in our mind, what we are doing in the body, how are we moving the body? There's channels, there's the nadis, there's the meridians, there's these channels that our thoughts, our energy, our emotions, everything's moving in these channels. And if we're not moving the body, then we're dredging up the entire irrigation system. And then we can't think clearly. We don't feel good. And then we're edgy and short to the people we love the most. And we're not able to show up as the person we want to be, our best selves. Because I really believe most of us want to be loving and kind to our husband or our child or our colleague. And there's those moments where we're focused and we're pressured for time, and then it's like, where's the compassion, the forgiveness to bounce back and say, okay, that happened. I'm here now. I love myself. I love you. And I say this, the alchemy, and I say this about destiny because I believe destiny is kind of the code, if you will, the light code. And that is what is animating the body. And then what we do with the body and that code determines the outcome of the alchemy. Are we heavy and weighted and, I want to say, a drag to ourselves first and foremost, because we're stuck with ourselves all day, every day, right? So it's like, where do I want to live? How do I want to live my life? And it comes back to self-defense, because to me, that's the most important self-defense.
Gosh, I never thought it that way. That's fascinating. Of course, I'm talking to a martial artist today. Maybe I never talked to one here. Probably you're the first one, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
So yes, self-defense, self-protection. I'm trying to bring the concept into something that I can apply, like practically. Yes, to me, what comes to mind is being true to my heart, to being true to the destiny that you speak of, being nature itself. So yes, of course, if you try to water a plant, a flower with, I don't know, with beer, let's say, that's a strange thing, it won't survive. So we need to understand like that we are nature. So that makes so much sense. It resonates true to me. And that will lead us to being true to ourselves, to that code. That I love that you say that too. It's almost like a destined code, which is it's very natural. It has this flow kind of quality when activated.
Yes, and it absolutely resonates with me, and I love the way you articulated all of that. So yes, and I'm happy to pass it back because I'm curious to hear what you have to say next.
Gosh, I'm like, thank you for that self-defense, yeah. It's almost like, I did interview somebody who's mentioned that idea, the concept of self-protection, but he was not a martial artist. He was a non-dual teacher. And he said that we need to protect the sacred. That's how he put it. It's the same thing, isn't it?
Oh,
Protect what's sacred.
We are sacred.
Right. So let's talk about the 8 treasures of Tai Chi. Gosh, when the goals I have here, I have a lot of things that I'm looking down because I'm reading things. So the goals to boost your immunity, enhance your perception, discover inner peace, achieve divine skeletal alignment and energy body balance. So these are, I mean, they're all like great benefits for everyone that are listening and want to engage with the treasures of Tai Chi. I love the word treasure that you is that something that you, is that a brand name for your program that you came up with?
Well, I will say that all that I share is ancient. I can't say I created any of it. It's not marketing. I was taught the 8 treasures during my discipleship. It was translated from Chinese as a Taoist practice. And the 8 treasures consist of more than 20 movements. So the first treasure itself has 5 movements, and within each of those movements, there's multiple practices. So it's an extensive training. I give 12 hours of on-demand instructional class time. So people at their own time can just go through and learn the treasures. And then I talk you through what's happening in the body. What are the benefits of each treasure? Because they're targeting a specific system to achieve balance. And this is, to me, profound divine wisdom. It's about, we talked about the code earlier. This is really a program, a sequence to activate the body's innate ability to heal and restore balance. And as it restores balance, it's without needing the mind to even know or think about it. You go through this sequence and it's a program. It's like we're going through and we're retuning. We're tuning everything in the body. We're reweaving the right and left sides. We're getting all of the systems back online. We're opening the channels. We're making sure the circuits are all connected. It is a profound experience. And this specific training, you learn the 8 treasures so you can have it for yourself. But what I'm doing 4 Sundays live that's interactive, where I want to talk with people that are healers, whether you're a doctor, a yoga teacher, any sort of movement teacher, life coach. If you have people coming to you, or you for yourself, which is how I started at a young age, I taught myself, I learned how to heal myself. I learned how to assess my own energy so that I could tune myself. And now I want to help people understand these ingredients of this profound recipe. How can you utilize each of these movements and customize treatments, practices for your patients, clients, students? And so this is really for people that are ready to go deep. What's beautiful about the training is, yes, we have these live sessions. You sign up, you have lifetime access to all the materials, and you have an open channel access to me. So if I've got people reaching out saying, I can't make to the live session, can I still get certified? Can I still? Yes, it's going to continue to be open beyond the live sessions, and you'll become part of the, we have an international community of students that are eager to say, hey, will you partner with me? I want to practice. And so I feel excited because, as I was sharing with you earlier, coming into the new year, I really opened my heart up, and I asked for guidance.
Yeah.
I ask for guidance from within. What is needed at this moment? What can I offer? How can I offer support? Because when I'm talking to people now, I am witnessing a lot of fear. I'm witnessing a lot of uncertainty. I'm witnessing a lot of depletion in the energy centers, which affect our immune system. So in this stance, from my vantage point, I have been given clear guidance to offer these 8 treasures, which is a deep, profoundly deep practice that I had to practice for years before I want to say eligible to gain access to. Because in a discipleship, a very, very traditional studentship, you go through thresholds of learning. However, what I've been informed and what I've been receiving and given permission is there are many of us walking right now, whether we went through a dojo and did a discipleship or we had our own life school providing us some deep training and some internal strength training. These treasures are showing up for the people that know that it's for them exactly at this moment for this reason. And you know why it's showing up for you. If you're feeling it in your heart, this is meant for you. And I've put it at a it's so accessible. And we'll share how you can connect with me. If somebody wants to do this training and there's any barrier, just reach out to me. I'm here to share. I want to make sure that anybody that wants to access this information can. So I am very passionate because I've witnessed how profoundly these treasures can transform someone's life.
Right. Gosh, I believe you wholeheartedly.
Yeah. So passionate.
Yeah, I love that. I love the enthusiasm, the passion. That's part of it, of course. So anyone can register now. The website link will be here on the podcast notes. So the jaguarpath.com/the 8 treasures teacher training, but the link will be there clickable. So it's easy. Also, so is that for everyone? The 8 treasures training for everyone, Nina? Or it depends on age and the other factors.
It's for anybody that's feeling called. It is movement. It's not cardio. This is a gentle movement of energy and guiding energy through the body. There are some movements that do require a little bit of dexterity or range of motion, but I share a variation so that every body type can access them. And it's important to know when you're sharing it with others how to offer those variations.
Right. Yeah. So everyone can engage with it. And feeling calling to engage in a training like this, what are the, let's say, how would you describe that? Like this calling? It's something that's physical. They're feeling some kind of imbalances within the body, or that's something more emotional. I would love to hear from you a bit more about how would this calling be described?
I love that. For each one of us, it would be different, depending on who you are, your age, what you're offering the world. If you're a student learning and getting ready to step out into the world, if you've had a profession and you're getting ready to retire, you've recently retired, we're all coming at this from a different place. This is universal wisdom that if you are feeling called, most of us will feel it in the heart space. You'll have a synchronicity of, oh my gosh, I'm watching this and I didn't even know that she was going to be talking about this. I've been looking for something to support me with my healing journey. I've been looking for something to support me with my movement and my physical strengthening and cultivating. So I think what I say to anyone that's not sure of what does a calling feel like, trust yourself. It's that quiet inner voice that knows, and every time you ignore it, you regret it.
Yes, so true. Yeah,
turn the volume up and listen in. And it's true is only true for you, and that's not negotiable. Your truth is valid.
Yeah. So I'm wondering for you, it started when you were really young, right, Nina? This calling to be a martial artist and a teacher. So is that something that you felt when you were like, 4 years old? You already knew, or was suggested by somebody?
Yeah, it's so interesting. My mother said that when I was young, that she said
Ah,
she would say you would always say you wanted to be a teacher. As soon as right away, I would said I wanted to be a teacher, and then I wanted to have hundreds of children, and she would always laugh like,
hundreds.
you want to change your mind. but what but what ended up happening is at a very young age, I was an athlete right from the beginning. I was a competitive sport athlete at very high levels. And so the precision and the discipline of the martial art technique really was attractive to me. I loved that I could improve like just by like a little bit with each technique. I just absolutely love that. And when I got the opportunity to begin sharing, it was such an honor, and it inspired me to train harder. And I think that for any of us, when we find our passion, what we love to do, it's like nothing can stand in our way, right? So
Yes, nothing. I agree.
this opportunity to begin at such a young age is, we could say, the synchronicities, those coinciding energy lies, the coincidences that occurred to guide me to that space. But I feel very fortunate. I feel very fortunate because I had the opportunity to connect with ancient wisdom and then also share it in really quite profound ways. So thank you.
Thank you. It's beautiful, though, your journey. So I want to also mention, we're almost at the end. I want to mention that you also, I interviewed Ray, your husband, Ray Crist, and you work together. So both of you doing this beautiful work. He's a yoga teacher too, I know. And you also host retreats together in Greece, right,
Yes.
Nina? I have them here. So the Eight Treasures teacher training, private online Tai Chi and Kung Fu series, personal energy coaching too. You do that on demand Tai Chi, one-on-one healing sessions, and the retreats that I just mentioned. Did I miss anything when it comes to your work with Ray as well?
We live here in Greece. We're actually right, for those of you that are familiar with Greece, we're in the Peloponnese, right in front. We're by the ancient theater of Epidaurus. We offer sailing retreats in the Greek, the sea, and we do a lot of retreats here. And it's a really great way to connect with the practices of yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong, and connect with these amazing energy centers of these healing centers and temples. So it's a beautiful opportunity to shift your energy. If you're feeling like you need an energy boost or you're in a rut, this is a very powerful way to reset and set a new course for yourself.
Yes, gosh. And get to know Greece if you haven't been there. Yes. What a perfect match, right? What you do with Ray and Greece is just beautiful. I mean, everything comes together. That's why there's this thing about destiny. It just keeps calling my attention because it really feels that way. So it's almost like energy meets energy, right? So it will finally resonate and come together. Thank you so much again, Nina, for your beautiful presence in this reality, for the work you're doing, and for saying yes to our conversation today. What's not to love about you and what you do? Thank you again.
Thank you.
And we'll be in touch again. For sure, I'd love to meet you again, of course.
Yes.
But because of this time thing. But for now, take good care of yourself and we'll talk soon. We'll be in touch again. Bye for now.
Thank you.